Um, you are welcome. You are welcome. Let me know where you are connecting from. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. Awesome. Amazing. Awesome. 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 So, yes, good evening. Welcome to day 10. Day 10 of their female gender series. I just want to say a very big thank you to every one of you that has been connecting, showing up every single day to join in this amazing conversation. A day, I see you, Nos, Tosin, Larry, hi all. Thank you for connecting. Yes, we've talked about so many things. And like I say, all of the replays are on my YouTube channel. Jola-Grace. Just search for Jola-Grace on YouTube, and then you'll be able to watch all of the replay on YouTube. Yes, we've talked about different things from rising above your past to trauma to functional depression, and we've had some amazing ministry. What will I call it now? On Sunday we had we had church on Sunday. I mean, let's just say we had church on Sunday. Looked at the goodness of God and all of that as we celebrate Mother's Day. So yes, hi, I see you all, Annie, Grace, amazing. And tonight we are starting the conversation about relationships, right? And like I said to us yesterday, we're not just talking about romantic relationships. We're looking at different types of relationships, and I'm going to be also teaching from my book, Street Sense for Good Girls. I'm sure a lot of you should have your copies. If you don't have, all of my books are available on Amazon and books.by as well. So you can get your copy there and also be blessed. Amazing. So, I often say that not me. So don't let me say I often say that. So let me start with this one as well. So a wise person once said, if you want to go fast, you can go alone. But if you want to go far, you need to go with others, right? Meaning that we are created as relational beings. Nobody can thrive in isolation. You need somebody else in your life. I need you, you need me. The things that I don't know, you know. The things that you don't know, I know. So bringing our strengths together makes us a formidable force. So, and I know a lot of people, when it comes to relationship, is a very touchy area, right? Because of the past, because somebody has hurt you in the past. And you probably have told yourself, I really don't want to get involved in a relationship again. I just, you just do surface relationships. You don't go deep with anybody because you feel that I've been hurt in the past and I'm not ready to get my heart broken again. And so because of that, you're just sort of on your own. You're doing things by yourself. You're just doing life by yourself. When you have to relate with people, you relate with them, but probably casually, because you feel I've been too hurt. Now I have to put up a guard. And one of the things we've spoken about as well is boundaries. We said boundaries are important. It's important for us to set boundaries, right? But you need to understand that there's something called healthy boundaries and there's something called unhealthy boundaries. So boundaries can be unhealthy. And I usually will make an analogy. So if you're meeting me for the first time, pardon me, let me introduce myself. Let me not assume. I am the soul doctor. My name is Jola-Grace Emmanuel, and I love to say that I am committed to helping you heal, thrive, and grow. I'm a person of faith, and so in a lot of my communication, I will make reference to the Bible. So the Bible talks about Jericho. It said that the Jericho was straightly shut up, right? None went out and none came in. So there was a wall around Jericho. It was just walled. There was no gates. There was no door, nothing. It was just walled. Now, a lot of times when you get hurt, right? In fact, when we get hurt, it's a human being that hurts us because animals don't hurt you. Nobody ever say, I'm so upset. I'm so angry. What happened? It was the cockroach. Oh. Can you believe that cockroach has the nerve to actually enter my house? Unbelievable. In fact, I will not forgive that cockroach. I don't know if you met anybody like that, right? But most of the time, it's a human being. A human being offended you, and so you're like, I'm done with people. I mean, I've heard that so many times. I'm done with people. I really don't want to have any relationship again. I'm done with friends, no romantic relationship, nothing. Let me just, so it's just going to be casual from now on. I just go. If I know some people that will say to me, I go to church, I make sure I go in when church has started, right? So nobody's talking to me or greeting me. And just before the service ends, I escape. So nobody talks to me, nobody greets me. That's because I'm carrying hurt in my mind, in my heart, right? Somebody has hurt me in the past. Maybe people from the church has hurt me. And I said to myself, I just don't want to do human beings again. But the thing there is, yes, nobody's coming into your life. Nobody's going to have access to come into your life to hurt you. But guess what? Nobody's also going to have access to come into your life to bless you. Because oftentimes when we pray to God to bless us, to release his blessing in our lives, God uses another person to bless you. He will not, drop that contract from the sky, or drop the bundle of money from the sky, or drop the food from the sky. It will use another human being to bless you. But when we close ourselves up to relationships because of hurt or pain that we experienced in our past, then we are closing up ourselves to potential blessings. David needed a Jonathan. Mary needed Elizabeth. Elisha needed an Elijah. In fact, Anna needed a prophet Eli. So we need people in our lives. We are designed as irrelational beings. We're not designed to thrive in isolation. That is why, in fact, listen to this. Medical research has shown, right, that loneliness is different from being alone, right? You can be alone and not be lonely. That is just you alone and you're not lonely. And there can be so many people around you and you are still lonely. So loneliness the effect of loneliness, right, in the body has been described as smoking 14 cigarettes every day. Loneliness, what it does to your body. So we are created as emotional beings, as relational beings. We need to relate with people. We need to have conversations with people. Loneliness kills faster than a lot of diseases that you think that would kill people. So it's important for you to know that, yes, people have hurt me, but closing up yourself, building a wall around yourself is actually self-sabotaging. So, okay, so what do I do? Do I keep allowing people to hurt me? No. What I need to do is to become what? Relationally intelligent, right? And that's what we're going to start to talk about today, relational intelligence. So their female gender. And because I said at the beginning of these conversations that because the female gender, we are incubators, we know how to keep things, right? And as much as that can be a good thing, it can also be a bad thing. Because when you get hurt, the tendency is that you keep, somebody was telling me this afternoon about sin book. That some people have sin book. When people hurt them, they go and write it down like, really? But the tendency is that you just bottle things. And some people, they express. Some people, they don't talk about it. They just keep it. And of course, I've talked about how damaging that can be to your physical body. So let's start to look at relational intelligence, right? And I'm reading from page 42 of my book. Relational intelligence, right, refers to the ability to effectively navigate and manage relationships in our lives. So it's the ability to effectively navigate and manage the relationships in our lives. Fostering strong connections, empathy, and understanding with other people. It encompasses being aware of and understanding one's own emotions, values, interests, and beliefs, as well as those of others, which in turn guides our actions and behaviors towards them. In a nutshell, that's what relational intelligence is. So it's a skill that you need to learn. Okay, hi, I see you. Good evening, all. TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. I see you all. Thank you so much for connecting. So you see, relational intelligence is a skill, right? That means it can be learned. So don't feel bad that, I don't have relational intelligence. I've not been wise in my relationship decisions in the past. But you can learn it. It's a skill that can be learned, right? So let's begin to look at some of the things that we actually need to begin to learn when it comes to relationships, right? Now, it says understanding, fostering strong connections, empathy, and understanding with others encompasses being aware of and understanding one's own emotions. So, emotional intelligence is part of relational intelligence. But emotional intelligence is not relational intelligence, but is part of it. You cannot talk about relational intelligence without talking about emotional intelligence. Understanding your emotions, understanding other people's emotions, knowing how to interpret it and how to manage it. Right? Now, when it comes to relational intelligence, it's not just the emotions. Now, we're looking at values. We're looking at interests. We're looking at beliefs. So, what are your values? What are your interests? What are your beliefs? And for me, the top most important thing you need to be aware of, need to understand, right? And always check your relationships with is values. Values, values, values. The success of relationships rises and falls on the power of values. 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 So the question I want to ask you is, do you even understand? Do you even know what your values are? Do you know what your values are? Because dear female gender, if you don't even know what your values are, how can you check them with somebody else's values? Can two work together except they agree? Oftentimes when we look at that Bible verse, we're thinking, okay, maybe two people that want to get married, sharing the same faith and stuff like that. But it's deeper than that. It's any two. Can two work together except they agree? So you will see oftentimes when you're going to an organization, you want to get a job and you get an interview, right? I hope a lot of people know this. If you don't know this, just take it. One of the things you need to do to prepare for the interview is to go and check, go and discover, go and find out what are the values of this organization. Because when you go to that interview, your conversations should reflect the fact that you understand their values and you are ready to align with their values, and that even your own personal values aligns with the values of that organization. Because values are what makes us, what is important for us, to us, what we stand by, what we will do anything for, what we will fight to protect. They are values. So can two work together except they agree is speaking to values. And one of the greatest causes of conflict in relationships is misalignment of values. When we don't see things the same way, when we don't share the same perspective regards to things, right? So I'll give an example. So if, for instance, somebody values family, to them, family is important, right? They call every week or every weekend or every other day. They call their parents, they speak to their children and all of that. Family is important. I know people who, there was I was taking a cab one day, and it was an Uber, and it was quite early in the morning. And as the chap was, dropping me off, he got a phone call and he apologized. I said, please, can you just, very courteous guy, and says, can you just pick up that phone call? I said, oh, of course, by all means, why not? And it was because it was driving, so it was on speaker. And the voice at the other end was obviously his mother. And it was a quick call, it was just about a minute. So called his name, blessed him. You are blessed as you go out today. You'll be blessed. The work of your right is blessed. No evil shall befall you. Just said a prayer and just say, I love you and all of that. I was like, wow, that's amazing for your mom to do that, to call and just pray for you at the beginning. And I was like, no, she does that every day. And she does that to all of our children every single day. I was touched. I was like, wow. Wow. Every single day to all her children, she calls them and speaks the blessing into their lives. Now, for me, that woman family is number one value. It can't be very convenient for her to be doing that. But for her, that is a number one value. Imagine if this kind of person now gets married to somebody who doesn't really value family like that, right? Who would probably prefer to go and work. And there's nothing wrong with work. So hard work is another value, right? So if this other person's number one value is hard work, and this woman's value is obviously, number one value is obviously family, right? There will be a struggle because this chap will probably always be at work. Oh, I'm traveling for work. Oh, I'm going to go and get that one done. Oh, they need me here. Oh, and then if the woman says, oh, but you're not spending time with family, he's going to be like, well, what do you mean I'm not spending my family? Is it my time that the family we eat? Have you heard that before? It's not my time the family is going to eat. I have to go out there and work hard. And so you see, they're actually talking about their values in their conversation, because she's like, you're not spending time with family. He's like, is it time that family is going to eat? I have to work hard. So he said to her, my own number one value is hard work. Yours might be family, but it's what it is. And in a relationship like that, there will be constant conflict. Because your value, you will always choose your value over everything else. You will always choose your value over everything else. So you will realize that there will come a time where the woman will be like, well, you have to choose between this family and your work. And of course, which sometimes can be ridiculous. But it's just that she's gotten to a point where she's frustrated, because she's like, you're never here. You're always working. And it's like, why are you even complaining? At least I'm providing for the family. Is that not what a man is supposed to do? So you see, they are both speaking two different languages. And it's not as if they are wrong, that one is wrong and the other one is right, or one is right and the other one is. It's just a matter of values. And you will see in some other, there's one of my mentors that said, oh, I got a job, but it's out of town, but I turned it down because of my children and my wife. So you see, to that person holds value, holds family as a value. Hi, Angel. Hi, Dele. Hi, good evening. Oluwatosin, blessing. Hi. So, number one, right, when we're talking about the elements of relationships, values. And this determines how deep you can be in a relationship with somebody. So first, I'm talking about interpersonal relationships. So we're not talking about romantic relationships, right? Misalignment of values is the number one cause of conflict in a relationship. What about time? Somebody values time. As far as they're concerned, if you say this program is starting at 12 o'clock, when I get there, the program should be starting at 12 o'clock. And I'm there, right? And I get there at 12:30 and you've not started the program. and you don't see anything wrong with it. And I'm like, wow, it's value. And sometimes self-integrity. Yeah, self-integrity. So when you are getting into a relationships, you are checking, okay, what are their values? What do they value? What do I value? That is why first and foremost, before you go into any kind of relationship, you need to ask, you need to elicit your own values. What are the things that are important to me? What are the things that are important to me? So let me read on. We are created as relational beings, and so we cannot avoid, I've already said that we cannot avoid relating with other people. Nobody was created to thrive in isolation. I looked at all of that. God values relationships as evidenced by the Bible's account of him visiting Adam in the Garden of Eden every evening for fellowship. So God created us for relationship with him first, of course, and then with other people. So relationships are powerful. The Bible says two are better than one. One can chase 1,000, but two can chase 10,000. So when you are, uh, in business, partnerships, right? The partnership model, when it's done right, when you're with the right person, is one of the very powerful models you can have when it comes to business, right? Because you obviously, before you get into the partnership, you know that these are the things that I have strength in, and then you connect with somebody who is strengthened in your own weakness. What a powerful force. I was in an assessment for a couple the other day, and I did a personality test for them. And one of them was a male co. The other one was a flag son, I think, something like that. And I was like, you have a powerful combination, right? Because when one is going too fast, the other one can bring them down. When one is too slow, the other one will say, come on, let's move. So partnerships, hi Samuel, hi Chika, is one of the powerful combinations that you can have of values, values, values. So this illustrates the exponential growth and increase that comes from harnessing the power of the right relationships. And I know you've been in lots of negative relationships. I know you've encountered relationships that have hurt you, that have disappointed you, that have broken your heart, that have put you down. I say this and I say it over and over and over again. There are bad people in the world. You probably have encountered some of them. You've gotten your heart broken. You've been disappointed. You've been betrayed. You've been let down. But there are also good people in the world. Amazing human beings that will gladden your heart, that you will wake up every day and say, God, I thank you for the gift of this person. But if you close your heart, so you see, if you don't open your heart to something, that was what we were talking about on Sunday, about the goodness of God, you cannot experience that thing. So God is good, and that is the truth, and it is the fact that God is good. But then the question is, why am I not experiencing the goodness of God in my life? Because life and my past has probably caused me to doubt the goodness of God. So until I come to that place, the psalmist said, I will experience, it was probably, we talk about affirmation or a declaration, speaking to yourself. I guess he was probably speaking to himself and affirming himself that, life has made you to doubt the goodness of God. Say, no, I will experience the goodness of God in the land of the living. I will. God is good. It's something you say to yourself, God is good. God is good. You magnify his goodness. Right? And it's the same thing about relationships. There are good people in this world. I will connect with good people. I will meet with good people. But the more you say it, the more you see, it's like a magnetic attraction. Understanding that the more I visualize myself being in contact with good people, right? Thinking that I will attract good people and becoming a better version of myself daily. I have to say that. Have you heard this terminology before? Like attracts like. Right? So let me start working on myself as well. Let me start working on myself. When I'm talking to singles, right, and I'm like, okay, we're doing like a relationship coaching and all of that. And I say, okay, so you want to get married, you want to have someone in your life. What tell me the kind of person you want to have in your life. Write down, their qualities. What are they like? What are they like? Let's look at the qualities. Okay, amazing. Right? And then I'll ask the person, this person, in fact, give the person a name. So you might have written, is passionate about God, is loving, is this, or she's that. Okay, amazing. Right? This person you have described, what kind of person are they going to be attracted to? What kind of person are they going to be attracted to? Because you can't just be saying, I want this kind of person, and you have not figured out who are they going to be attracted to? What kind of person are they going to be attracted to? Because when you know the kind of person they're going to be attracted to, then you can begin to ask yourself, am I that person, or is there still work for me to do to become that person? And that's really, really important. That's really key. So let's move on. Where am I? So even though relationships are intended to enhance our lives and help us reach optimal performance, sometimes they fall short. Yeah, two are better than one. But I'm sure you've been with another one that you are worse off. I used to say jokingly that two are better than one, right? One which is 1,000, two which is 10,000. But sometimes you get entangled, let me use that word, in a relationship that you were chasing 1,000 before. And now you're supposed to be chasing 10,000. But you are still chasing your 1,000. Nothing has changed. You're just there chasing your 1,000. And then after a while, you realize that in that relationship, you were chasing 1,000, but now you are now chasing 800. Mm-hmm. And then you start to chase 500. And then you start to chase 200. And then when you realize that, I'm only chasing 100. And then very soon, you're not even chasing anything again. Then after that, guess what? They are now chasing you. It's supposed to be a joke laugh. Okay, so let's leave that alone. What I would say, what's the moral of the story? Your life is supposed to be better when you get yourself involved in any relationship. It's supposed to be, and I don't want to go ahead of myself, relationships are supposed to be mutually beneficial. Right? So even though relationships are intended to enhance our lives and help us reach optimal performance, they often fall short. Sometimes we are pushed to the wall in our relationships and we feel disconnected from others entirely due to hurt. However, doing so is being relationally ignorant. Relational ignorance is the opposite of relational intelligence. So let's quickly look at relational ignorance, right? It refers to lack of understanding, awareness, and the skills in navigating relationships, leading to ineffective communication, conflict, and strained connections. So, for instance, right, those who are just joining, I'm teaching from my book, Street Sense for Good Girls. Okay, so if you have it, you can also just follow along. So, for instance, right, those who have experienced abuse and people who perpetrate abuse both lack relational intelligence, and I'll show you why. Now, the person that was abused was ignorant because a limited knowledge of relationship dynamics left them uncertain about how to select a compatible partner for a fulfilling life. So you see, I've talked about values. So I said the three main elements that you need to watch out for in relationships: values, interest, and beliefs. Can two work together except they agree? Can two work together except they agree? Do we share similar values? Do we share similar beliefs? Do we share similar interests? Because if you don't, it's like somebody will be facing this side, the other person is facing this side. And this is in every relationship. There must be something there must be something that connects us together. Right? So let's quickly run through a list of what a person who is relationally ignorant will exhibit. So number one, poor communication skills. Okay. Okay, can you Facebook? Okay, awesome. Number one, poor communication skills, leading to difficulty expressing thoughts, feelings, and needs. So, I'm sure you probably heard this before. There are three most important things when it comes to relationship. Number one, communication. Number two, communication. Number three, communication. And you will see, I talked about the ability, relational intelligence is an ability, it's a skill you can learn. Communication too is a skill that you can learn. So if you feel, oh, I'm struggling with my communication, you can learn it. You can become better. Right? So if someone that is relationally ignorant will exhibit some of these characteristics below: poor communication skills leading to difficulty expressing thoughts, feelings, and needs. Oftentimes when people go through trauma, they struggle to communicate their needs. They just struggle. Why? Why? Because they've learned keeping quiet. They've used keeping quiet as a coping mechanism. They've used the fact that I'm not going to express myself as a coping mechanism, because every time they've expressed themselves, they've been met with, strife. It's been met with negativity, probably been met with talking down at them, verbal abuse, psychological abuse, right? Or them being misunderstood. So over time, to cope, because when people are going through any kind of trauma, they have to cope. Your brain needs to be able to cope. So it develops different ways to cope. And one of the ways, right, in abusive relationship is just keeping quiet, not saying anything, not talking back when you feel somebody is hurting you, or not expressing your needs. When you have a need, you just keep quiet and find a way to just sort your need out yourself. Because in times past, when you express your need, when you said, this is what I need, you've been shut down. Your need has been invalidated. So you get used to that. Okay, there's no point, there's no need to. And you see, nobody has it all. Nobody has it all. That is why relationships exist, for us to help each other. Right? So it's okay to ask your friend, to ask people, that you are in a relationship with, oh, can you help me to do this? Can you do that for me? Can you do this for me? And I know probably in your previous relationship, and for some people, it's even growing up in their childhood. Anytime they ask for anything, they're always shut down. So they developed that skill to just be self-sufficient. I'm all I've got. I'll sort myself out. So they grow up as an adult and they do not know how to ask for help. In fact, when people are trying to help them, they become irritated or agitated. What do you want? Why are you trying to help me? Right? But you must be able to separate what happened to you in the past to what is happening to you now. And know that the people that are around you right now are not there to harm you or to hurt you. That is why you need to understand relational intelligence. It's okay, right, to ask for help. Yesterday, one of the things we said was, it is okay not to be okay. In fact, maybe we'll do it is okay. Let me make a note of that. We'll put what's the things that are okay. Their female gender. Okay. It is okay. We've already said it's okay to say no. So yesterday we said it is okay not to be okay. And then now we're saying it is okay to ask for help. It's okay to ask for help. Because you are not El Shaddai, you are not omniscience, omnipotent. You are not the one that you don't have everything. Right? It's okay to ask for help from the people that you are in a relationship with. But so avoidance resulting in dodging conflict or difficult conversations. This again can also be because of the trauma you've had experienced in the past. And for childhood, probably you are always ignored. You weren't given. So you see, I'm so grateful that things have really changed. Back in the day, even though I think our generation was still sort of like balanced. We were still allowed to talk. But I think the generations pre us, you can't have an opinion when an adult is talking. Adult is talking, you have an opinion? No. You can't. And that has a way of shutting you down as an adult. When you become an adult and you just don't want to have conversations, you just don't want to, you are just like, my opinion doesn't matter. The way I feel doesn't matter. Right? Because you've grown up like that. And God help us now. The children that we have today in 2-year-old, 3-year-old, they're asking you why? Why? Mommy, why? But why? And sometimes, honestly, those whys can be really annoying. Because I said so. Because they are trying to find answers to everything. But and don't shut them down, right? When you just tell them, okay, yeah, because mommy said so, right? Mommy knows best for you. At this point in time, you are still 2-year-old, you are still 3. But things like that, when those who have been shut down, it leads to, as an adult, having difficult conversation or dodging conflicts. Number 3, aggression, right? Someone who is relationally ignorant is always aggressive. They manifesting as forceful or passive aggressive tactics. So they think that everything is fights. Yeah, the personal relationship, everything, you must use fights to sort everything out. And a lot of these characteristics of relational ignorance can also be as a result of trauma. Because listen, that person that is always aggressive and you think is a bad person, most likely also experienced trauma. But the difference is, so I say what happened to you is not the reason why you are the way you are. You see, a lot of people say, I'm the way I am because of what happened to me. No, it's not true. It's number 1, the way you've interpreted what happened to you, the way you've allowed what happened to you to make you feel, your responses, your behavior to what happened to you, then creates the results. That is who you are today. The same thing can happen to 2 different people and they have 2 different roles. Have you not seen two brothers brought up in the same family, poverty stricken? They barely could eat. And both of them are grown up. One of them is poverty stinking. Poverty. One of them is poor. Let's just be safe like that. One of them is poor. And the other one is very wealthy. And they asked the 2 of them, why are you so poor? Oh, well, it's because of the way I was born. It's because of how I was born. I was born into poverty, so I don't know anything else, you see. And they asked the second brother, wow, you're so wealthy. Why are you so wealthy? He says, well, because of how I was born. I was born into poverty. And I didn't like it. It made me feel like this. It made me feel like that. So I thought to myself, I have to do something about it. I have to make sure I work hard and eradicate this poverty from my own generation. My children must never experience what I experienced. And I worked hard, sought opportunities, sent myself to school. And now I have all of this wealth. The same thing, different results. So you see, that person that is aggressive, always, trying to use fights to sort everything out, probably experienced that at home. But they didn't interpret it properly to be able to manage it well. Right? So aggression, of course, they now also have somebody who is very passivity, failing to assert needs or set boundaries, very passive. Again, what has happened in your past? And sometimes these things can also be temperament, because someone who is a phlegmatics are usually very passive. Just whatever will be, que sera. They are not, they don't really have that drive. They're just there, whatever, But oftentimes it's because of trauma, of heartbreak, of being emotionally wounded, right? You just don't know how to assert your needs or set boundaries. So let me just run through it. That we have manipulation, using guilt, anger, or self-pity to control other people. dismissiveness, minimizing or disregarding other people's concerns, strained relationships characterized by deteriorating connections with family, friends, and colleagues. Then we have conflict escalation leading to unresolved issues, intense conflict, and persistently focusing on minor issues. You know, some people can just really focus on the minor things. This is just small. Now, why are you so, but that happens, that's relational ignorance. Lack of empathy, struggling to understand and share other people's emotions. Some people just don't know how to share other people's emotions. They are so closed up. They are so numb. They are so in a world of their own that they just, somebody saying to you, they just lost somebody, and you're like, okay, yeah, well done. So when are you submitting the proposal I asked for? What? Relational ignorance. Insensitivity. Or another thing that people do is somebody is sharing their pain with you. They're sharing their heart with you. They're telling you, oh, something happened to them. They hurt their finger or something. I say, even me too. Yesterday, I slept and I was just. I'll give them that moment. That's their moment. That's their moment. Must you not bring up your own? Even me too. Even me too. Yesterday I went to. Even me too. No. That is their moment, and that's empathy. That's relational intelligence. Allow them to have that moment. Okay? Then insensitivity. So insensitivity disregarding other people's feelings, needs, and boundaries, ineffective leadership or management in corporate environments, impulsivity, acting without considering consequences or other people's perspective, defensiveness. Some people are so defensive, and sometimes it's because, again, you've been hurt in the past, right? So you are very careful of people stepping on that wound, right? You are still carrying the wound, so you are very careful of people stepping on that wound. So you see, I've talked about, when I had the operation and I had a big wound on my shoulder and all of that. And I'm a hugger. I love hugging people. So people knew that about me. So after the operation, people saw me and they're like, oh, it's been a while, and they want us hugging. I would sort of shrink back, like, don't hug me. Don't come. Don't, I just, shank them, like we used to say. And a lot of people don't understand why I was shanking them, because they're like, oh, okay, she doesn't want to hug. What's going on? Why does she want to hug me? And you know how you can all build up stories and all that kind of stuff. But after a while, I had to let people know that, okay, I have a wound. Right? Or somebody say, oh no, she has a wound. Because I know that if I allow you in, you're going to touch my wound and it's going to be painful. And I really don't want that. So I had to what? Give you the cold shoulder. And it wasn't because there was something wrong. Right? It wasn't because there was anything wrong. It was just because I was hurting. So oftentimes people become defensive because they are hurting. That's why I often say to people, if someone is behaving in a particular way, don't think it's because of you or what you did or what you did not do. It might just be them. Imagine that person that didn't know that I was, having a wound, and they're just thinking, it's me, maybe because I'm not fine, maybe because this one, maybe because it had nothing to do with you. It's just also hurting. Which is why, again, I say heal, 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 heal. So misunderstanding resulting in frequent miscommunication and misinterpretation, high turnover rates or burnout in professional environments. We spoke about that for the last 2 days, functional depression. So let's move on. Every pain. Okay, I don't know what's going on TikTok cast. I don't know if you can still see me. Okay, what's that? I don't understand. Okay, can you guys still see me on TikTok? If you can see me or if you can hear me, let me know. Okay, so every pain, abuse, heartbreak that you have experienced has been because a human being somewhere hurt you. I said that earlier on. So becoming relationally intelligent is the way around avoiding these negative experiences. Okay, you can't hear me on TikTok. Okay. I'm not sure what's going on. So I don't know. It brought something up and said something. Restriction. Okay, give me 1 second. Okay. It doesn't matter. You guys can still hear me in other places, right? So that's fine. But am I still okay? You can't hear me, you can't see me. That's fine. Cool. Please watch me on Instagram one. Let's focus on the other places. Right. So let's keep talking about relational intelligence. So I don't think I'm live again on. I don't think so. I'll try. Let me redo it. Let me see. Excuse me. So maybe okay. Let's try that again. So relational intelligence is about influence. It's about influence, right? Theodore Roosevelt said, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Miles Monroe also said, where purpose is not known, abuse is inevitable. People find themselves in one form of abusive relationship or the other because they don't know the purpose of the relationship, of those relationships in their lives. Right? We're looking at relational intelligence. So, first of all, when you are about to get into a relationship with somebody, ask yourself, what is the purpose of this relationship? Define the relationship. What's the purpose of the relationship? Why am I in this relationship? And we are talking about every kind of relationship, right? So, for instance, let's look at this. For instance, let's simplify it. So we're looking at purpose of relationship. If you are hired, and okay, let me finish reading it and then I'll say this. If you're hired as an administrator, but your boss consistently assigns you personal errands, such as buying food from the canteen, cooking for them, it means you are not being utilized for your intended role. Remember, you are hired as an administrator, but here you are going to the markets to buy food stuff, right? Going to the restaurants to buy food, lunch. This constitutes an abuse of authority and a misalignment of your job responsibility. And I'm sure that in some part of the world, you're going to say, well, not really. We are admin staff or you are receptionist, you can do any work. But really, is it in my JD? Let's be frank. Is it in my JD? So it's important for us to understand that and understand what is the purpose of this relationship in my life. Relationships are powerful, very powerful, right? They have the power to transform our lives and influence our happiness, health, and well-being. They are the foundation of human existence. Relationships are the foundation of human existence. I'm going to talk about different relationships, right? So we're still going to look at toxic relationship, healthy relationships. We're going to look at the dynamics of relationships. So definitely we can't finish this today. And then we're going to look at, this one is so important, don't miss it, 7 elements, right? These 7 elements, you must test it in your relationship, right? So just as a teaser, relationships can either be casual, right? Or they can be deep. You can have a casual relationship, right? But let me quickly talk about the 4 major types of relationships. So number 1, you have family. Right? Family. This person is my family. Okay, I think I'm back on TikTok now. I don't know what happened before anyway. If we talk about family, right? So this person we're related by blood. Once you're related by blood with somebody, they are family. That is the relationship. And let me say this. Okay, don't let me say it yet. So number 1 is family. Number 2, we have acquaintanceship or casual relationship. Acquaintanceship. So I'm acquainted with someone. We go to the same place of worship. We worship in the same place. We are neighbors. We are work colleagues. We attend school together. So those are all acquaintanceships. And then after acquaintanceship, we now have friendship. Friendship. After friendship, then we have romantic relationships. So 4 major types of relationship. Now, the problem a lot of people, and I will still break that down. The problem a lot of people have is we mix number 2 and number 3 together. I mean, family is clear. I know if we are blood, we are cousins, we are second cousins, we are third cousins, If you have your 10th cousins, we are sure cousins, there's sure blood somewhere. I met someone the other day and I realized that this person was from the same town that I was in Ogun State. And I'm like, what? We must be cousins. So from that day, we became cousins. Because my town, which is Odogbolu, is not that, you don't really meet a lot of people from there. So meeting somebody like, yes, we are cousins. So somebody is related to you by blood. Then if you're dating somebody, if you're married to somebody, that, okay, this is romantic relationship. But the number 2 and the number 3, acquaintanceship and friendship, is what we often get wrong. And a lot of people get into trouble when it comes to relationships because you're calling an acquaintance your friend. You are calling an acquaintance your friend. By the time you get into that deeper level of relationship, there are some things that are expected from both parties, and we'll talk about that later, right? So let's keep moving. I said relationships are powerful. They have the power to transform our lives. We rise and fall on the power of relationships. I'm sure you've heard this before. Show me your friends, and I'll tell you who you are. You will be the same person in 5 years' time, right? From today, based on the people around you and the books you read. You've heard that said up as well before. So the people in your life, they shape you, they form you, they determine whether you will rise or you will fall or you'll be on the same stage, the same level. Who are the people you are relating with? That is why it's called relationship. Ship. It is a vehicle. Relationships are vehicles. They move you. Are they moving you? And you know that vehicles can reverse. Mm-hmm. The fact that you are in a vehicle does not necessarily mean that you are moving forward. The vehicle might be reversing. It might be reversing, it might be going back. I remember in Nigerian English now, reverse back. How many people have said that before? Let's just quickly reverse back. That's tautology, because reverse is move back. They're not saying reverse back. So that doesn't lighten. The fact that you are inside a vehicle doesn't mean the vehicle is moving forward. So some relationships can actually be taking you back. We talked about this when we were looking at Rise Above Your Past. We said the number 4 thing is evaluate your relationships, because some relationships will hinder you from healing. Some relationships will stop you from rising above your past because they're always reminding you of the past. Do you think anybody will marry you the way you are like this? Do you think you've forgotten what you did? Or if I have this one, they've tied you with rope to your past. As long as you are in their life, you are moving forward. They are happy when you have a problem, when they can begin to mentor you and counsel you and say, hey, it's okay, don't worry. You see, I know somebody's, I know. But the moment you tell them that I'm fine, I'm actually really fine, and they see that you are getting certificates or you're actually improving yourself, they have a problem. They have a problem. And sadly, and I have to say this, sometimes those people are family members. Mm-hmm. Listen, the fact that somebody is a family member doesn't mean that. So you see, in romantic relationships, for instance, they say the best romantic relationships are built from friendships. So you meet somebody, make sure you can become friends. I was speaking to a couple the other day and I realized that they weren't friends. And I said, can we just pause everything, all these discussions we are having? Can we just build friendship first? Can you guys just pretend you're just meeting each other and you want to be friends? They think I'm disrespecting them when I tease them. I'm like, so that means you guys are not friends. You guys are not friends. You're able to tease your friends, pull their legs, make jokes. right? Be vulnerable, be you, be able to speak your mind, and they will not judge you or use your words against you. That's friendship. Like I said, I'll still talk about the element of that later on. I don't want to go ahead of myself. So, the fact that somebody is a family member doesn't necessarily mean that they will have that friendship relationship with you. Because sometimes I've seen people put themselves in 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 compromising situations or in sabotaging situations because he's my uncle, he's my auntie, he's my this, he's my that. But this relationship is not serving you. You realize that anytime you tell them anything, they will use it against you. They will twist it, manipulate it, and use it against you. He's my auntie's cousin something. We are related. Not necessarily. That's what I told you about. But hey, Dr. Daniel, hi, bro. It's been a minute. So, you see, values, interest, beliefs. And you must take this through all the 4 types of relationship. You might have noticed that in some family dynamics, you will see maybe 2 particular siblings, they are so close because they share values, interest, and beliefs. And I'm not talking about religion. When I say beliefs, that's not what I'm talking about. Beliefs is the way somebody believe that, I believe in giving, for instance, right? I believe that, when you give, you receive. Somebody's like, no, don't, you want to carry your money and give it to church? Now what for you? You people are just, well, that's your business. I believe in giving. If another cousin or sibling believes in that as well, we will be closer because we share similar beliefs. If maybe both of us love singing, for instance, or we love watching movies, that will again bring us together because we share common interests. Values, beliefs, interests. And the fact that somebody is your family member doesn't mean that they will share the same values, beliefs, and interests with you. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. Right? So, acquaintanceship and friendships, oftentimes we mix them up. We mix them up. And then when we get hurt, we're like, oh, I can't believe he hurt me. Well, did you make an acquaintance a friend? Did you make an acquaintance a friend? That is a question. So let's continue. So, where are we? Relationships shape our emotional, mental, and physical well-being. Relationships have the power to uplift, inspire, and transform us, or to hurt. So, relationship can either uplift us, it should, inspire us, it should, transform us, it should. However, sometimes it can hurt, harm, or hinder our growth. Have you ever detached yourself from some relationship and then you suddenly realize that you're moving so fast? Have you? Let's go to Abraham. The Bible records in Genesis that God has been telling Abraham that he will be a father of nations. He would have that he will have he would, he will have a child, he will have a son and all of that. Let me actually see if I can read it to you. How sometimes relationships can stop you, stop your vision, stop you from focusing and entering Genesis 13 into where God wants to take you to. So Genesis, let me find the verse now. Let me find the verse. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Okay. I have to find it. Now that I've told you, I want to find it. And if anybody knows it, you can put it inside. So it's the place that talks about after Lot departed from Abraham. When it says, after Lot departed from Abraham, and Abraham lifted up his eyes, and then he saw. Where is it? What's it's here? It's here. It's here. Anyway, okay. Yeah, find it for me. Find it for me, Angel. So after Lot departed from Abraham, that was when Abraham could see what God was saying. Right? And theologians will tell you the meaning of Lot. I think it means maybe stagnant or something like that. I'm not sure now. But some relationships will cause you to be stagnated. But immediately there was a separation. He could see what God was saying. And so sometimes you have to understand that relationships can halt you. Let's keep reading. Any relationship. Okay, where are we? Where are we? Relationship shapes are, transform. So we need to learn how to apply wisdom so we don't encourage toxicity in our relationships. A toxic relationship is harmful and damaging. Oops, it's already 7 o'clock. Okay, that's fine. Let me just do one more. Okay, so let me do one more and then we'll pick up from healthy relationships tomorrow. So a toxic relationship is harmful and damaging. It causes emotional distress and is detrimental to your physical and mental well-being. Any relationship that persistently makes you feel less than or inadequate is toxic. Any relationship that makes you feel less than or inadequate is toxic. So sometimes we think that toxic relationship is when somebody is abusing you or hitting you or saying bad things to you. Every time you are with them, they just do a lot of things to you and all of that. But if maybe you are a group of 6 friends, for instance, and you guys always go out, you have fun and everything, and you talk, and after you leave them, you just feel, man, I feel so small. I feel they're all better than me. I'm this, I'm that, I'm that. And you noticed it frequently. Something is going on. Something is going on somewhere. I need to find out what's going on. So you see, these things that I'm talking about is persistence. Something is going on. Why am I always... So maybe they always look at me and make fun. Maybe they always look at me and laugh at what I'm wearing or something like that. A toxic relationship is harmful and damaging. What it does is it causes emotional distress and is detrimental to your physical and mental well-being. It's detrimental to your physical and mental well-being. Any relationship where there is lack of respect. So notice this thing. I say respect is mutual. It's supposed to be mutual in a relationship. Respect should be, I respect you, you respect me. It's reciprocal. Yeah. Respect is reciprocal. So any relationship where there is no respect, there is, oh, thank you so much for that. Okay, 13, 14. Thank you. Let's see. I just wanted to read that to you. I was looking at it, but I didn't see the verse. I went to 13, 14. Yeah, 13, 14. So the Lord said to Abraham, after Lot had separated from him, lift up your eyes and look from the place where you are, northward, southward, and eastward. All the land that you see, I will give to you and to your offspring forever. And then, so Abraham moved his tent, verse 18, and came and settled in the oaks of Mamre, which are at Hebron, and there he built an altar to the Lord. So you see, so just to reinforce what I was talking about earlier on, about the fact that some relationship will hurt you. And the truth is, I've actually seen this in my personal life. Because you see, have you ever been around someone for a while who had a, what do they call it now? Who had like a slang that is used, and you realize that you leave them and you start using the slang. So don't laugh. See, though I don't even know the funny thing, I don't even know where I heard it from. But I just realized that I was with my siblings the other day and we were talking and they were like, they said, hey, sorry about that. And we're all laughing. And they okay, we just say, oh, anything, we just like sorry about that. And then a few days later, my sister's husband started to say, sorry about that. He said, you are the one that made me to be saying this thing, no? And we were all just laughing, like, what is this? What is sorry about that? You see? But you stay around someone, you just pick up on their energy. You pick up on their slangs. You pick up on the things that they do. Sometimes you pick up on their dressing. There's something called mirroring in intervention, right? In psychological intervention, where maybe if this was a physical session, for instance, and I'm doing my hand like this, subconsciously you will also start do your hand like this subconsciously, right? Because we as human beings, we're energy. Energy is flowing from one person to another, from one person to another, from one person to another. So your relationships, the people around you, I normally say that your ears and your eyes are the gateway to your soul. And the Bible says, guard your hearts with all diligence. Why? For out of it comes the issues of life. Or like some people will say, issues of life. Issues. Guard it with all diligence. Because listen, it's better. I don't know about you, but for me, it's better I don't hear or see something. I'm not trying to unsee it or unhear it. It's a lot of work. So I'm very squeamish, for instance. So I'm very careful about the movies I watch. So there was this movie I saw on Netflix the other day, and I thought it looked interesting. And I started to watch it. And then they were, operating somebody, and I said, I still want to watch it. I like it. And then I was like, no, I can't do it again. I just can't do it. So now I'm trying to unsee the things that I'm saying, even though I know, because some of those things they showed us behind the scenes, how they actually shoot those movies, that it's actually not real, they're not cutting anybody, it's not real blood and everything. But still, for me, because there is a make-believe. So you're still saying it, you still think that is real. That means they're doing a good job. So it's better I don't even see it or hear it than me not trying to unsee and unhear. Boundary. So imagine if you're in a relationship with somebody who constantly will say, for instance, swear words. There was one of my friends that said to me some time ago, I had to leave a job. I literally had to resign from a job because they were always swearing. And I realized that I would get home and I'll be talking to my husband and I'll be swearing as well. And she was like, no, I can't do this. I can't do this. So you see, you are a sum total of the people around you. Who do you listen to? Who are the people in your corner? Say, no, I'll be okay. I'm just moving with them, but I will save all of them. They'll become born again. Really? Excuse me, sister. When did you become transformer? Or when did you become the Holy Spirit? You probably heard this analogy before, that it's easier for somebody, right, who is standing on the floor to pull the person who is standing on the table down than for the person standing on the table to pull the person on the floor up. It's easier. If I'm down, I can pull you down easily. But for me to pull you up is more difficult. So who are the people in your corner? So, okay, let's quickly round this up. So any relationship where there's lack of respect, we looked at that. Criticism, belittling, you think I'm just joking with you. It's not every joke that you should tolerate. Some jokes are actually belittling. They're belittling you. Flat cheeks. Why? I'm just joking. No, I don't like that. To me, it's not a joke. No, don't talk to me like that. I don't think it's funny. So you must also be able to have those because that is you. Yes, that means that person. Because listen, if you are my friend, right, and I tell you that I don't like something, it makes me feel a certain way, you will adjust. You won't keep doing it. If you keep doing it, it means that you don't really see me as a friend that you should care for. That's a cue. So, neglect, emotional manipulation, coercive control, dishonesty, or gaslighting is toxic. When you see all of this in a relationship, is toxic. Gaslighting you, making you doubt your own reality, right? So, gaslighting is when someone consistently distorts facts or makes you doubt your reality. If someone constantly plays down on your achievements, we're looking at toxic relationship. Somebody constantly plays that on your achievement. So you see, maybe you have a group of friends and you just come and share with them, oh, I just got promoted. I'm only going to be there. Okay. Yeah, well, it's okay. But my cousin sister's friend, actually, she had a higher promotion just yesterday. Just yesterday, she had a higher promotion, than this one that you had. Phew, that's toxic. That's toxic. What are you doing there? What are you doing there? So when somebody constantly plays down on your achievements, you do something, they tell you that it's not a big deal, they pull it down, or they blame you for everything that goes wrong in the relationship, then you are in a toxic relationship. And like I said earlier on, toxicity can happen in any type of relationship, from family to acquaintanceship to friendship and to romantic relationships. Okay, let me see. Should I go on? Okay. So, effect of toxic relationship. We'll end there. We'll end with that. Good evening, blessing. Good evening. I see you all. Hi, hi, hi. The effects of toxic relationship. Number one, emotional distress, such as persistent anxiety or panic. Emotional distress. You are always, maybe when person is calling you or you have to relate with them, you're already shaking, you are panicking, you have anxiety. That is an effect of those relationships. Physical harm or abuse. Number three, loss of self-esteem and confidence. You just don't feel confident. Social isolation or withdrawal. You begin to feel, I don't want to be around people. Number five, financial instability or exploitation, because there's also something called financial abuse. Number six, decreased mental and physical health. Right, you begin to struggle. You're not really focusing. You don't remember things. And then even your health deteriorates. Number seven, strained relationship with other people. Number eight, difficulty trusting others. Number nine, feelings of shame, guilt, or self-blame. Number 10, trauma. Right? Listen to this. Nobody can disrespect you without your permission. Hmm? Nobody can disrespect you without your permission. You are in charge of what you choose to allow and disallow in your life. You have options. Don't always think that, they're my only friend. Is my sibling, is my this one. We are related by blood. Or I have no. You have options. You have options. And see, self-love is putting a boundary when there's toxic relationship. That's self-love. You're saying no. No, please don't speak to me like that. No, don't. I love you, but please don't speak to me like that. No, but don't do this. Right? Do not see, when you tolerate bad behavior, you are enabling that bad behavior. Some of us, you don't realize it. It's not really, you are actually enabling the bad behavior. And when you start to tolerate it, it will aggravate. So today, it might just be, look at your nose. It's so flat. Everybody, look at our nose. Your body shaming you. Tomorrow, it might be a slap. Tomorrow, it might be making up stories against you. It always gets worse. So do not tolerate. So if they stop talking to you, so you just don't stop talking to yourself. So if they stop being your friend, so you don't just stop being your own friend. If I say they should not talk to me like that, they might kick me out of the group, or they might not even there, or they might go to the party without me. So is the world going to end? Have your own party. Remember where we started from: interest, values, beliefs. You have options, right? Seek professional help if you feel you may be in a toxic relationship. It is important, right? Because some people on their own, they don't have the skills to actually stand against this toxicity in their relationships. They don't know how to navigate it. I've worked with so many people who were in toxic relationships to help them learn how to navigate it. Because people treat you, the way people treat you is what you are allowing. You are allowing it, that's why they keep treating you. But how do I disallow it? This is where your coach comes in to help you. Number one, find yourself, discover yourself, love yourself, and then put in boundaries. So step by step, put in boundaries. And you see, in some instances, not in all instances, but in some instances, once you begin to put in those boundaries, those people will adjust. They will adjust. I've seen it. They will adjust. So the onus is on you to say to yourself, no, I'm not going to keep allowing this in my life. I'm going to put a stop to it because I am special. I am valuable. I am intelligent. I am beautiful. I am worthy. And I am enough. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Let us peg it there today. I know that I already said that when it comes to relationships, we're talking about interpersonal relationships, guys, not even romantic relationships, just every kind of relationship with people you relate with, right? And we're still going to go deeper tomorrow. We look at healthy relationships. We'll look at dynamics of relationships, and then elements. You don't want to meet those ones. Elements of healthy relationships. What do I need to check out for before I can call somebody my friend, or before I can commit into relationship or begin to, you see, we all have emotional bank accounts, and when you are in any relationship, you have to give credit. You have to give emotional credits into that relationship. But some of us are just giving our credits, we're not getting anything back, and then very soon your emotional account is overdrawn, is empty, and so you just start to struggle. You are drained emotionally. So how do I make sure that I don't get to that point? We're going to look at all of that tomorrow when we meet. So I've been also speaking from my book, right? Street Sense for Good Girls. In case you haven't gotten your copy, it's available on Amazon. Yes, absolutely, Bumi. You are enough. You are special. You are worthy. You are valuable. You are beautiful. You must begin to develop a healthy relationship with yourself, right? Because when you develop a healthy relationship with yourself, it's easier, right, to be able to say no to toxic relationships in your life. So thank you very much for staying tuned. Again, tonight's day 10. So tomorrow is going to be day 11. Oh my goodness. Dear female gender, are you enjoying this series or what? Because I definitely have been enjoying myself. So I'll see you tomorrow for day 11, right? And we'll continue the conversation. Make sure you stay tuned. And like we've been sharing, if you need any support in the month of March as a female, as part of the female gender. Thank you. They're saying they're loving it. As part of female gender, you get to have a 50% discount on one-on-one coaching sessions with myself throughout this month, right? So go and, make inquiry. Send me a WhatsApp message. My WhatsApp link, it's in my Instagram bio. Gift yourself is from now till to 22nd. It shouldn't end. Okay, I'll try and I'll bring Soul Clinic back. So I don't know if you know Soul Clinic with the Soul Doctor, right? So we'll bring that back. I'm just trying to navigate quite some things at the same time right now. So, but we will stick to bring it back sometimes soon as we can. Remember, if you've gone through domestic violence and abuse, you can join the Flourishing 50. So you can go to my bio again on Instagram. Make sure you're following me on Instagram, even if you're watching from any other platform, because you can get all of the information there. right? Gift yourself the gift of healing. Gift yourself the gift of emotional health, right? That's the best gift you can give to yourself because you are valuable, you are special. And if you don't look after you, then who do you expect to look after you? I am the Soul Doctor. My name is Jola-Grace Emmanuel. And like I love to say, I am committed to helping you heal, thrive, and grow. God bless you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye, everyone. Bye. 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 Bye.